We all have a birthday. For most of us, it's a special day we stop and rejoice in a celebration. As we get another year older, we reflect on the memories we have personally had throughout our life. After all, I think that is what a birthday is all about. A day we look back on all that has happened in our life and in our own personal journey. But what about what was happening in the world the day you were born? What was happening locally or nationally? That is what I'm going to talk about today. What was happening on August 3rd, 1988? What was the weather like? What was in the cinema? What was the price of living? Then ask, what was one of the biggest changes from then to now? August 3rd, 1988 is just another calendar date for many, but for me, it's the first day of my history, and I'd like to tell you some of the history that was taking place on the day I was born. August 3rd, 1988 was a Wednesday. The weather was beautiful. Low to mid-70s, being August is one of the hottest months in the year, the temperature was relatively low. But for me, it would have been a perfect day for a movie. At the Northland Cinema here in Worthington, prior to what we now know as the Northland Cinema, with its infamous crater-filled parking lot that seems more like traveling on the moon than a hotspot everyone would flock to catching the latest flicks. But in August of 1988, it was just that. Coming to America was playing. It's a movie about an African-American prince who is played by the funny Eddie Murphy, who goes to Queens, New York to find a wife whom he can respect for her intelligence and will. I did see this movie when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and it was a funny movie. But it is interesting in hindsight to see that 25 years later, movies are moving further away from displaying women of intelligence and encouraging more racy, tight clothing, skin-showing centered movies as a big selling point, so more moviegoers will see their films. Shopping was also very different in 1988. Adult Nikes were $19.99. I have a pair in my closet right now that cost $99. It's remarkable to see how much further a dollar could stretch back in the day. The value of a dollar was worth far more 25 years ago. That goes the same way at the tank. Gas prices were average around 91 cents in 1988. 91 cents! When was the last time you ever saw gas prices lower than $3, let alone 91 cents? The average retail price of regular gasoline today is $3.65. That is 4 times the price of gas in 1988. The fact is, if you would have bought gas in 1988, it would have cost you $18.20. Today, if you filled that same 20-gallon tank, it would cost you a whopping $73. What an amazing difference 25 years can make. Most of us have a familiarity to what things cost. Whether it's a new toy or a video game, the cost of clothing, or the price of a tank of gas. As you can see, life on August 3rd, 1988 was a lot different than today. And economically is where you can see the most evident change. Your hard-earned money could go further. The cost of living was less. And I'm sure I can speak for almost everyone. We wish we could get that part from the dust of history back.